Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and welcome to part 5 of Knuckles Chaotix. Now, part of the reason that I hate hub world in 2D Sonic games is that it breaks the pace. Because you don't just instantly go from one level to the next. This in hub world isn't so bad because it's so short. Like, there's one screen for each thing. So it's not like you spend too much time there and you don't have to wander around and go through level design of its own just to get to where you need. It's not like in Sonic Advance 3. There the hub world's a problem. And this is Speed Slider. This is easily my favorite level in the game. To play in, at least. I mean, my favorite song in the game in terms of the levels is Botanic Base Act. Or is it Botanic Base? Yeah, I was so mad because Vector pulled me into the bonus stage when I didn't want him to. That's another thing, your partners can actually enter the bonus stages for you. But yeah, Speed Slider is my favorite level in the game to play because it's the most Sonic-y in level design. There's all sorts of slopes and loops everywhere. Yeah, just tap up rapidly on the control pad and you'll probably be able to get him to pull you up. But again, I didn't know that at the time. I was just randomly mashing buttons and directional pads, and I had no idea how I did that. Even though you'll get it right, you might figure it out on your own, but you still won't know what you did right. And as you probably noticed, you killed an enemy, and it dropped a gray ring that counted as a regular ring. Which is pretty awesome, because I don't know if I mentioned this before, but again, it is really great that Eggman is using rings for robots, because it makes better sense as a power source. But unfortunately, no other Sonic game does this. Like, there's no other Sonic game, no official one anyway, that has the robots powered by rings. We're never really told what Eggman's robots are powered by after this game. I guess they're powered by stolen Chaos Drives, because Chaos Drives power different types of robots. And yay, I get Speed Slider twice! Awesome. The music of that level, I heard Clement, he really liked the music of this level. And I can sort of understand why. It's pretty fast-paced and energetic and cheery. But I don't know. I prefer the relaxing and cheery themes of Botanic Base and Door into Summer. Like, I prefer those. The special stage theme is really repetitive because it's literally just the first few notes repeated over and over and over again. And thank goodness that there is a background noise. It's like the special stage theme is usually one of the most memorable themes in the game, but that's not really a good thing. And why do they have to have these elevators here? What do they contribute to level design? Would the game have lost anything if they removed? Rolling down slopes doesn't seem to make you go nearly as fast as it does in the classic Sonic games. Maybe that's just because I was playing the game on emulator, because usually when I play 2D Sonic games on emulators, they run at least a little slower than normal, even though I have a great computer, which should be more powerful than a Wii. So if anything, it should be faster, but I don't know. Maybe it's the game's physics, maybe it's just... It just feels like I'm moving a lot faster that way than by curling up into a wall and rolling down slopes. And again, I would have had to wall jump up there if I knew how to actually get up there. Yeah, I was pretty annoyed at that. I think this is a fun game, you know, like, I consider it to be a fun time waster. It's not really a Sonic game that you absolutely need to play. Like, I consider Sonic 3 Knuckles and Sonic Triple Trouble to be games that you need to play if you're a Sonic fan. Because they're so good, and well, Triple Trouble has a lot of problems, but it's still a game that's worth checking out. And this game is pretty unique and special. It can be pretty fun. But the level design is pretty unremarkable, and really the most remarkable things about it are the characters you get to play as, and the fact that in the tether ring mechanic. I mean, a lot of Sonic ROM hacks do things to insert characters from regular Sonic games into games they aren't usually in. Like there's an Amy and Sonic 1 ROM hack, which actually has a psychological effect of making playing through Marble Zone less tedious. And there's the Knuckles in Sonic 1 ROM hack, which fixes the palette compatibility issues that made it impossible to make a Knuckles in Sonic 1 officially. And there's a Shadow in Sonic 1, and well, there's a lot of Sonic 1 ROM hacks because it's the easiest to hack, unfortunately. I love Sonic 1, but I wish there were more ROM hacks of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because that's my favorite game. My point is that I don't really see the Chaotix characters being put into ROM hacks very often. Is there a Vector in Sonic 1 ROM hack? Is there a Vector in Sonic 3 ROM hack? I don't know. And these shields seem to have pretty much the same problem as the ones in Sonic 1 and 2, in that, you know, they constantly flicker when you're watching them in a YouTube video, because the YouTube can only have videos that are 30 frames per second, which makes recording things at 60 frames per second kind of pointless. And because of that, it looks like the shield is constantly flashing on and off, but that's not really what's happening in the game. The shield is constantly flickering, but it's supposed to always be there as a transparent effect. I hate dead ends. Like, why are there so many... Again, the biggest problem I have with the level design is that there's too many dead ends and it's too open. Like, there were actually people who thought that there should be open level design in 3D Sonic games. But that would just make it take even longer to figure out how you're supposed to get to the goalposts. And it would be even worse because it's in 3D, and so there's a lot more directions you can go. Like, the hardest part of the game for me, aside from some of the boss fights, is easily trying to figure out how to get to the goalposts, because the level design is too open-ended. There's a whole bunch of different areas you can go to. A lot of Sonic levels have alternate routes, but this game doesn't do it exactly like that. There's one route to the goalpost, and it's hard to figure out what exactly that is. And oh shit, Amazing Arena. Not this level. Thankfully, we don't return to this level for quite a while. Like, I was lucky enough that I didn't have to go through most of this level until nearly the end of the game. Something that a lot of people aren't going to have the luxury of because of the stage randomizer. Like, in Clement's playthrough of this game, he actually got Amazing Arena first, for his first level. Like, that's part of why the stage randomizer sucks, because you can get this level as your first. One of the reasons why this level sucks is that you have to turn on the light to complete the level. And it's not like you reach the goalpost and there's a wall blocking or anything. Oh no! You cross the goalpost. And then it says mission failed, and it plays the music that you lost to life. And then you have to beat the whole level all over again. It's like, why? That should never ever happen in a platformer. You cross the goalpost, you go through the entire level, but it doesn't count it because you didn't turn on the lights? Bullshit. I mean, what does turning on the lights even do anyways? It makes the level look bright and colorful, like it's straight out of a children's coloring book. But that's about it, really. I don't see how it's a good thing that... I mean, it's not like you created a good future in Sonic CD and destroyed all the enemies and stuff. So why do you need to turn on the lights? And I hate these elevators. Like, I hate how long they take to get you over to stuff. Like, you stop in them, and then you wait for them. Like, why can't they move a lot faster? And I'm not going to be fast forwarding any of that because that's the game, folks. That's what you have to deal with. Plus, if I made cuts or fast forwarded, then it would be kind of harder to follow. Another gimmick that this level has is standing on these platforms that, well, there's also these tubes, which take too long to suck you in. Like, why can't they be faster? Why can't they be more like the tubes in Chemical Plant Zone? But it's also these platforms, where you stand on them, and they move down, and then they bounce you upwards. I like them. The problem I have with Vector is that he's so sluggishly slow. I mean, when I was watching Clement's playthrough and he said that Vector was his favorite character, I assumed that Vector was the best character in the game. I was not expecting him to be so slow. I mean, he's easily the slowest character in the game. That's not a joke character. That's why I prefer playing as Mighty, because he's actually fast, and he can ascend walls a lot faster now. The advantage to playing as Vector is that he has an air dash. This boss, this isn't even a boss really, it's just a mini boss. You just throw your partner up at him, jumping to get extra height to do so, and you win. And it's convenient that it drops ring boxes afterwards because it allows you to get a special stage easier. I actually thought that was the end of the level when I first played this. And I assumed that the actual boss of this level would be a little harder version of that. Thankfully, I was wrong. Well, I guess not so thankfully. I mean, I prefer it when boss fights in platformers are easy, because to me, the allure of a platformer is the levels. I play platformers for the levels. Bosses are just an inconvenience that prevents me from getting to the next level. I just want them to be done and over with as fast as possible. I love boss fights in Zelda games, but in platformers I just want to go through the levels, and boss fights are just an annoying intermission between that, so I don't like it when they're hard and take too long. Now we're in Botanic Base again. I just can't pronounce that name for the life of me. Anyways, Vector has an air dash, but it's not nearly as good as Hypersonic's, because he doesn't air dash nearly as far, and he doesn't air dash very quickly at all. Oh great, I went right back to the beginning of the level. His air dash is really underwhelming because he doesn't get much distance and he's also really slow. It's like he sort of air dashes like he's gliding, and he can do it in any direction, but he's no hypersonic. And I'm not saying he has to be invincible, I'm saying that his air dash is just really disappointing. And again, because I didn't know the controls, I didn't know how I was supposed to get him to pull me up there. And I obviously don't have the instruction manual for this game. So there really wasn't much I could do. I had to figure out everything on my own. I mean, I watched plenty of Let's Plays of this game. I watched Clement's twice. I watched the HFC Sonic-a-thon run of it twice. But just because I watch a Let's Play of a game doesn't mean that I'm going to be great at it when I first start out. There's a difference between watching a game and playing it, and I'm not always going to remember everything I saw when I watch it. Like, usually, there's a lot that I forget when I watch an LP. Especially because usually there are plenty of times when I don't actually watch the footage of the LP and I just listen to the commentary as background noise. Especially when I'm rewatching it. Like, I like to watch LPs when I'm playing Pokemon, because the games are pretty slow paced. Like, you have to go through a lot of text and you don't move very fast, and the message speed can be slow, especially in Gen 4. So, and the load times for the battles are so long that it takes literally 9 seconds to be able to attack when you enter a battle in Gen 6. Which is ridiculous. That's like Final Fantasy IX levels of load times. And it gets really grating after a really long time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon games. The later ones anyways. But it just, they're so slow paced that I kind of feel like I have to listen to something as background noise to make them feel less tedious. Especially because what I like to do is I never use repels. Like, I always play the game and fight every single random encounter that I have. As long as the level isn't too below me, that it barely gives me any experience. Oh, I hate this enemy so much! I hate that enemy. It's so cheap. But anyways, I never use repels in Pokemon, so that's why I tend to listen to Let's Plays while playing it. It's kind of hard to keep on talking about the game when I pretty much covered everything I need to say about it. I mean, and I don't want to talk about stuff that happens ahead of time because that would sort of be a spoiler. So what I'm going to do is, I have several pages of trivia. And I'm going to start with the trivia about this game because, well, first of all, is Let's Play this game, and second, yeah, I had some trouble getting past this part of the level. I'm just too impatient to use the hold technique most of the time. And you have to be facing the right way when using the hold technique to get up there. But my point is that, well, I guess it won't be in this video, but starting with next video, I have 4 pages of Knuckles Chaotix trivia to go through. And 2 or 3 pages, both sides, of Sonic in general trivia. So I think I'm going to have plenty to talk about for the rest of this LP. See you then.